Hey there! Today we're going to be looking at this Pelikan Souverän M600, and you know when you hear Souverän it's going to be a gold nib. It's a nice size, the M600, smaller than the M800 and smaller than the M1000, but bigger than the M200 because that's how numbers work. Now this is a new pen they've done. It's white and it has rose gold. I don't know how clear you can see that, but I'll tilt the camera down. Hopefully you can see it a bit better. Rose gold trims. It looks very cute. It's a nice match. It was sent to me by Joost Appelboom. Remember, friend gives you 10% discount on that website, so check it out. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen. I'll do a writing sample, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and that's it. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about the Pelikan Souverän M600 Rose Gold, the interesting new white finish. So let's first talk about the box. These are always a little bit difficult to open without tearing anything, but I think I've managed to do it. And then you have a finger hole you can use to push out the rest of the box. It's all white, but that is of course on brand for the pen. It has a little magnetic closure up there, and then in there it says passion. Viel Freude in using this. There is a sleeve which, oh, I thought there was something inside. Oh, I'm so sorry. Inside is this kind of sleeve that you slip it into. Okay, moving on. We have a nice booklet with filling instructions and like what their nibs are like and all that sort of stuff, which is quite nice. And then we have the actual pen. I'm going to put it on my trusty pen stand, and I'm going to zoom in and show you this. So it's a white, I think earlier I said cream. Is it cream? I think it is, because I don't think it's a super bright white. This, if you look at the box, this is very bright white, so I think it's ever so slightly off white. But anyway, this is a interesting pen they're making. It has white resin for barrel and cap. It has rose gold plating on the trim, a 14-karat solid gold nib in extra fine, medium, or broad. This one is medium. It has kind of a milky ink window and a piston filler system, and it is 428 euros. Yes, you heard it right. Okay, let's cover the parts of the pen. On top, of course, is the finial with the pelican feeding its baby chick. I guess it's just a chick, because that's the point of so baby. Anyway, we have the stylized pelican face with eyes and bill for the clip. Then we have the center band that says Pelikan Souverän and Germany, all quite nice. And we have some more rose gold plating on those rings there. Looks quite balanced. And then here we have a piston turning knob. The cap unscrews. Out comes the section which tapers down, flares out a little bit. These threads are a little bit sharp, and it's not the longest section, but I haven't found it uncomfortable to use. We have this milky ink window. There's dark blue ink in it, so you don't see much, but it's clearly translucent, but it's kind of milky. It's not clear. Then we have a nice gilded rose gold ring at the section there. You have to be a little careful. That can start to rust because you keep dipping it in ink, but you know, it's a design choice they've made. And then you have, I'll try to zoom in a little bit, you have this nice nib in rose gold, solid gold. It's 14 karat. Again, this is a medium. It says 14C, 14 karat, 585. The gold content, it has that pelican on it again and some nice scroll work. I've always really enjoyed the nib design of pelican nibs. It's not their biggest pen, but that's what you're getting. It's certainly comfortable. I think it is a size that works for a lot of people. You can post it comfortably if you want something a little bigger. Great size. This is really a lovely size that I think will appeal to a lot of people. The M1000 is really large. The M800 is a great size for a lot of people, but it's definitely bigger. I think this is a great size if you have slightly smaller hands, or if you just like, I mean, clearly it works for me, right? So I think that's really quite nice. Okay, let's write. We have here a Pelikan. I'm not going to write down Souverain if you don't mind. M600. It's a 14K medium nib. And the ink is just the Eldergraph blue. Pleasant writer. It's not a glassy, smooth nib, nor is it scratchy. Just a nice bit of feedback. Very strange writing, but I'm talking as I write, sorry. Pleasant. Lets you know you're using a fountain pen. I find it really quite nice. And keeps up well with ink demand, as you can see. Wetness. This isn't the wettest ink in the world, but as you can see, it's quite nice. Certainly not a dry writer, and there seems to be ever so slightly a stubbiness, slightly wider downstroke than side stroke that's under no pressure. It's not a flex nib. People seem to think that Pelikan nibs in particular flex a lot. They're not. I've had a lot of messages from people who buy an M1000, try to use it as a flex nib, and then say it doesn't write anymore. No, that's because you sprung the nib. So when you do this, do it at your own risk, very, very carefully. It's not advertised as a flex nib. If I don't do this, people say, why did you not do the flex? So that's why. I wouldn't recommend anyone to do this. Okay, reverse writing. Gets quite scratchy, and I would say this is extra fine. But you can get away with a couple words, and if that is meaningful to you, you can certainly do that. As mediums go, I don't think this is the broadest of mediums, but it is certainly a nice and pleasant writer. So, let's talk about some likes and dislikes. What do I like? What do I not like about this Pelikan Souverain M600 Rose Gold? It looks refined. To me, the white that I think is this ever so slightly cream colored white, I think it looks very neat. The rose gold trim elevates it. I do really like that. I like the kind of cloudy ink window. It looks good to me on this pen because of the sort of white body. It's a really nice writer. I have to give them that. Beautiful nib that writes very nicely. Just a bit of touch of feedback that makes it feel like you're using a fountain pen. Really nice, not scratchy, very, very pleasant. Things I don't like about it so much. There are two main things. The first one may not be an issue, but when I see a pen material like this, my first question is always, but will it stain? Because that is a very, very white pen body. I haven't had an issue, but I used a washable blue ink on purpose. It's not my property, it's just on loan from Appelboom, right? So if you're going to use, I mean, for the love of God, don't put Bay State blue in this. But if it is even something else, very saturated ink, I'm not sure it would not stain. Now, it not being my property, I haven't run any of these tests, but I'm sure you see where I'm going with that. So washable blue, no problem at all. But what's the fun in always using washable blue, right? The other thing I say, and I think price is always a relative thing, but I think in this case I am entitled to say this, and I like to think this is a somewhat objective statement. 428 euros, excluding tax, is an awful lot for this pen. You get a pen that is piston filled, which is cool, has a gold nib, which writes really nicely, which is wonderful, but 428 euros is a lot of money for a pen this size with a nice finish, but it's not a particularly rare material or a specific celluloid. It's just this, right? So I mean, you got the resin. Were you to ask me, would you purchase this for that price? My answer would be no. Now again, 10% discount banner on my website, but even then, is it me? Let me know in the comments, but I mean, is it me or is this expensive for this pen? I'm not trying to ask a leading question, but just saying. Now, if you're a collector and the Pelikan collectors, that's just the thing. I get it. Maybe it's different, but for an average user, I think it's on the very high end of things. Still, very cool writer, and I love it. So, it may not be worth for everyone. I think that's safe to say. A very kind thank you, Joost, for lending me this. I appreciate it. I hope this was useful, and I'm glad to see you later. Bye.